Holy God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts here today be holy and acceptable to you, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. New Year's Eve is fast approaching for us all. And it really is a great evening of the year. My wife doesn't know this, but I actually really like New Year's. I think it's a great holiday. I hadn't realized it until recently how much I actually enjoy New Year's. The day, the evening, maybe it's the amount of football I get to watch, I get some time off work, or all of that stuff so that you can have a good time. But I really like it because there's a separation of the old and the new. There's this wonderful representation of transition, leaving behind the mistakes and the struggles of the previous year and stepping forward, hopefully, into the new year. It's a reminder of the present moment, to be here and now, breaking from what was and what is to come, and to be right now. And so those resolutions come, right? We got resolution makers. How about resolution keepers? The only reason I don't like New Year's is because my gym becomes packed and crowded. Now, they all go away in about 2 weeks, but for 2 weeks I got to deal with the extra 15 to 20 people in my way. But those resolutions come, right? Save more money. No spend January. Buy a house. Be less angry. Yell less. Lose that last blasted 15 to 20 pounds that's hanging on for dear life. But it also functions as almost like a reset button. Now, I lived on a cul-de-sac by myself. There were no other kids in my neighborhood, and I lived with my grandparents, so I played a lot of video games after I could only be outside by myself for so long. Now, on the old systems like a Nintendo or a Sega or those, they don't have them on the new ones. They have reset buttons. So when the game wasn't working or it was you just hit the reset button and it all start over. Now, it's not that drastic, but there is this sense of breaking from what's not working and stepping into what's right. It feels like a reset button. New Year's Day and Eve and stepping into 2019 or the new year can be a reset button. Now, it does leave us with a terrible dilemma. For those of us who are going out or having a lovely time, we have the hard decision of what to wear. Standing in front of our closets, we look and we say, do we wear the new gray suit or do we wear the blue suit? Now, do I wear a bow tie or a straight tie? Because if I wear a straight tie, people are going to lose their minds because Pastor Dan cannot wear a straight tie because I inundated you all with the bow ties. If I wear a straight tie, nothing's wrong. I just ran out of bow tie colors. So I stand in front of the closet, right? We do this. What do we wear? Where are we going? What are we doing? Okay, so maybe I shouldn't even wear neckwear at all. Am I going to be the most overdressed person at this thing? Yeah, Dan, you are. Where are we going again? We're going to watch football at someone's house. Oh, so I don't need to have a suit on. No, honey, you don't. But we have this terrible dilemma of what to wear, where we pine and try to figure it out, right? I don't actually spend that much time picking out my clothes. She gives me a face, but no, I don't. Just make sure that the shoes, the socks, and the bow tie matches. As it comes to the new year, we have another dilemma of choices of what to wear. As we press the reset button, as we step forward in 2019, we have a choice of what to wear. It indicates who we are deep down inside. And it's not just some sort of exterior thing for people to see and to notice, oh man, he's got a new bow tie, or he looks really sharp, or she looks great in that dress or those heels or whatever. But what to wear in terms of the new year as it comes is an indication of who we really are inside. It's like Carl said, when a police officer puts on his uniform, when Mark Hartnett puts on that uniform, we know what he's there for. We know that when I have my robe and stole on, I'm probably going to stand in front of you and talk for 15 to 20 minutes and lead worship. There's indications of when we wear something about who we really are. As we press that reset button and we head into the new year, Paul says there are certain things that we should do. He's talking to a church in Colossae who's struggling. They have just started, and they're having their own difficulties about how to act, who to be, how to represent Christ better in the world. And they're even having struggles realizing who they are. When we come to chapter 3, he says, you're the beloved ones. You're chosen. You're set apart. You're different. You are a certain way for this community at this time. You should act like it. You have been baptized. You have been chosen. It tells them that there is a certain way to be in the world. And then he goes into an interesting statement to say, clothe yourselves. It's a hearkening back to the imagery of baptism. When in those times someone would be completely stripped of their old clothes, baptized, and they would be given new clothes. Greek Orthodox Church does it to this day. They strip you, they baptize you, they put on this beautiful white stuff, and the white robe, and they cover you in oil to seal it. Literally clothing yourself in Christ. Dying to the old, becoming something new. Paul says, clothe yourselves. Clothe yourselves in kindness. Oh man, we can use a lot more of this these days. Just some kindness. Just some downright pleasantness. Don't be a jerk. I would just put it in modern vernacular. Don't be a jerk. Don't be mean to people. Just don't. There are some people in this world who are difficult not to be mean to. Don't. Be kind. As Paul says, just clothe yourself in kindness. Be nice. It's hard. It's really hard when you want to take that cheap shot. They say that thing, and you're like, ooh, yeah, well, I know something about you. And just don't do it. Because remember who you are really. Remember who we are really. Because see, that cheap shot, that lack of kindness isn't who we really are. We are not inherently evil, bad, awful people. God did not create it and go, it's average. God created it and said it's very good. Be kind. Those simple gestures, they call them random acts of kindness or RACs. There's a lady at the grocery store who just, you could tell, right? And she's kind of looking at it. She's looking at what she has. Just throw that on there, I'll get it. Random act of kindness. Those kind of things, we go put some change on a soda machine. It may not be the healthiest thing for someone, but someone walks by and they get a free drink. Those are kind, wonderful things to do. Do that. Clothe ourselves in that. Clothe ourselves in that kindness. Those paying for the papers, the drinks, or I got the car behind me. What did they order? Go ahead and knock that out. I'll take care of it. Those little things are simple, small gestures, but they explode in people's lives because you never know at what point someone's at in their life. Maybe they're at their wits' ends pulling their hair out. They've had the worst day of their life. And the kind act of a stranger completely morphs them. Then Paul says, clothe yourselves in compassion. Compassion. Put ourselves in someone else's shoes. It means taking the moment to pause and say, how exactly does Melissa Gross feel today? How exactly does Todd Schmidt feel today? What is Todd's story? What is their story? Instead of jumping and reacting, there is something greater going on in their lives. How do I seek and recognize that? How do I be part of that? It's putting people before ourselves. And I'm not talking about where that, you can completely give up your self-care and you to that point where you're unhealthy. But what it is saying, it's not just about me. And that leads into the humility thing, but it's the recognition that it's not just about me. It's working to be understanding, to regain that empathy and sympathy that I feel like our society has lost. If you're empathetic, you're weak or something like that. But rather taking the time to notice what's going on in someone else's life and being part of that rather than being so caught up in ourselves. It's that whole walk a mile in another person's shoe. Clothe ourselves in humility, Paul says. Guess what? I am and you are individually all one of 7.5 billion people on this earth. You all are unique individually, but we're all still just one of 7.5 billion. It's a little humbling to think that, isn't it? It should be. We all have our gifts and our talents, but we also need to take a moment and realize that there's a whole bunch of other people in this world, and none of us are better than each other. Some of us just have different gifts that have allowed them to make different decisions and be in different places or have opportunities to maybe make more money or whatever. But it doesn't make us better. God said when God created all of us, it's very good. You are very good. It's the ability to set aside the petty taunting and the arrogance. I love winning. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. But do so with dignity, with decency, without taunting and rubbing it in. It's the ability to recognize a win and also respect the opponent who's lost, and so to speak. Or, if you're having a debate, which we have debates are good. They make us better. Talk with people you don't agree with. That's part of being humble, is being able to just talk with someone else you don't agree with. But listen to them. Take time to hear what they have to say. That's a humbling experience. It takes humility to open our ears to a different point of view. We don't need to seek to prove others wrong to make them foolish. He says, clothe yourselves in meekness. Meekness? Seriously? Really? Like, all soft and weak? No, I don't want to do that. Other translations say gentleness. I can handle gentleness. Meekness. The example of meekness that I think about when I think about it is Mr. Rogers. You watch him and he just is, he's approachable. There was a softness, an ease, a comfort, a lightness, an airiness about him. But I tell you this, after reading his book, that man was not weak. That man was not weak in the slightest bit. He was morally driven. He if you got in the way of his moral compass and doing things the absolute right way, he let you know. But he was able to be soft, to love and care and comfort and to educate and engage other people. That's meekness. It's not being the bulldozer. This is maybe why this is really hard for me, because I like to be the bulldozer. It's kind of fun. I push stuff out of the way. It was my favorite piece of equipment to run when I worked at Caterpillar Rental Supply. But to be clothed in meekness is to be accessible, to be comforting. It's to let people know that you are available for them. Be patient. Man, seriously, I want it now. I love that Queen song. I want it now. I want it right now. We've been taught this. We've been ingrained in this. You can get it right now. 2-day delivery with Amazon Prime. I want tomorrow delivery. My headphones won't be here till Monday? This is ridiculous. You should be here yesterday. This is who we are. But it also isn't just patience for getting the things, but it's also being patient